We're having a little technical stuff going on here, so I appreciate your patience. We'll be with you in a minute or so.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the June 2nd edition of the Dawn Patrol. We are a little over a month away from the 4th of July, which means after the 4th of July comes, summer flies by. And with me this morning is City Councilor, as he always does for the summer, is Sean McDonough. Absent today are Bobby Hoey and Cisco Maldonado, who is what Cisco's doing? Are you the new radio host?
He's getting a job at the workforce.
Yeah.
He's going to work at Mass Hire now, too?
No, Jose Cervantes, he's doing the radio gig every morning, and Francisco's his sidekick, so we'll see how all that works out. So.
Yeah.
Good luck to them both. Good
luck, guys.
Yeah. I still say it'd be great to simulcast with us on the show. I know you talked about it one time, but,
Well, it's a little early to call them.
Yeah.
So maybe just after 7 we'll call them up and surprise them.
Yeah. So, Sean, you started your budget process last week.
Tommy, can you drag that mic closer to you? It should be 4 inches from your mouth.
Yeah. You started the budget process last week, and you continuing up tonight? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Yep. Line by line, and then it'll pass probably 5-6.
Okay.
Yeah. I say 5-6 because I'm going to be with the 5.
Right.
We'll see if we even get 5, but.
So I read in the paper, it was in the column, so it's not a secret, about a position that's, I don't know what department, the person was there for so many years and got laid off before somebody's been with short of time. Mm-hmm. It's not right.
It's not right.
Yeah.
It's not right. But
so this person obviously has no union protection.
They do. I think, we just watched this administration, and it managed, they really did a good job. I mean, they really, I don't want to say they did a good job. It was really well played with the firefighters, is how I'll put it.
Yeah.
Where, you go in, you walk into Superior Court, and you just get handed, the administration gets handed just the biggest letter L that I think you could see a municipality receive, in terms of the judge basically saying, not only did you not read the union, the contract, you also didn't read Mass General Law. So no, you have no grounds. the injunction is granted, which is very difficult to get an injunction.
Mm-hmm.
It was impressive to see that turned into we worked out a deal. I thought that was a really impressive spin. As you walk in and a judge in Superior Court says what you did is not allowed.
Right.
And then you come back and you say, so we thought long and hard over the weekend, we worked out this deal, and we put the firefighters back.
Sure.
I bring that up only to say, does this person have collective bargaining rights? Does this person have union protection? I'm sure they do, and I'm sure that now we're just going to sit around and wait for the shoe to drop and watch the city get handed most likely another loss in court on a labor issue.
It's just not right.
Cost even more money.
Somebody did that long. And
How's the senior center doing? Are we going to lose that?
I'll put a motion in to release the executive session minutes at this point because I still can't talk about it.
Because my guess is him and his crack defense team are going to cave and give the senior center back to the builder.
Saris?
I don't like to use names because they get ticked off.
They do. They get really mad
when you use somebody's name.
Oh, I agree. But I mean, it is public knowledge. It's not like so.
But no, I don't know. Last I heard, I thought, we still haven't extended the.
Let's go to court. Let's go to court. Let's have a jury trial. And go ahead. Let's do it that way. Let's go to court and have a jury. Never mind a bench trial. I want a jury trial. And we will own that place, lock, stock, barrel, boat, dock, and key. The deal was, for $1 or $2, we bought the thing, and it's 3 years. So when this guy loses, then I'll be belly aching. I want the 3 years rent back that he took.
Right. Well, we're not paying him rent right now.
Have we been paying him for the last 3 years?
No.
That's good for us.
No. We have a very good city auditor. That's
great.
One thing I'll
great.
say. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Will not sign those checks.
Sure.
Yeah. Nope. Budget's gonna keep going. Wow, it's weird being on here with just you, Tom.
Yeah.
It's a quiet show.
Yeah. Well, my friend Bobby.
Bobby. Bart's not texting in to yell at me or whoever yet.
Now, just going back one more to that person that got laid off. My wife and I were talking about this past week when she worked with the new courthouse down here. She was there for 30 years almost. But she was telling me that if there was ever a layoff there, she would have bumping rights to go, even if she had to go into another department, into like the probate department, or she was in the probation department. But if she could bump somebody in the clerk's office, for example, you can't do that at City Hall. You can't bump people.
So
or is that part of that?
I think this is the part of the problem here is that there's what I thought I could read in language.
Yep.
There's what I think most people thought they could read in language, and then there's what the city administration has managed to decide they see in language, and they're completely. It's not in the same reality. Right. To the point where, on the last two meetings ago, a counselor had put in a motion asking about the layoffs before kind of singing the praises of the administration, I think, much to the disappointment of many of the people that voted for them. But what do I know? It's not my seat. I had asked after that motion, or as part of that motion enabled the discussion. So I had asked, a little snarky, but which comes first? Which year is the earlier year? Which year is the earlier year? I asked. I said, is it 2000 or is it 2013?
Since administration can be deceptive, you can be snarky.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Very snarky. Where I've seen that city solicitor, the way he talks to you guys sometimes, like.
And so this is what I was going to say.
Arrogant.
The mayor had gone before me, and the guy was smirking and chuckling or whatever through the mayor's questions. And so then it got to my turn, and I said, you know what, fine, if this is the game we're playing, which came first, 2000 or 2013? Okay, so 2000 comes first. So how do you have an employee who starts in 2000 get laid off, and you keep an employee who starts in 2013? And they didn't even start at the grade at 2013, and the contract says it's by grade.
Are they related to a city councilor?
Former.
Oh.
The one who kept their job?
Yeah.
Former. It's public.
Okay.
I can show you in the city budget, then you can guess who's...
So this name is in the city budget?
Yeah, the name's in the city budget. So
Oh.
if you look in the city budget,
It's a former
and see who's
city
still in
councilor's-
the-
a former city councilor's
If you
spouse.
look in the city budget and you look and you say, I remember that person who said what department they got laid off in. So if now you go look at the department that has the hole in it, find the one who's still in the same position, and then
How about
see
the
who they're
senior
married to.
center? They laid off Tara, and then I guess they got 7 pages, double-sided sheets of signatures demanding Tara come back.
Who's Tara is? Which
Tara
part?
was like the receptionist at the
Oh,
senior
okay.
center.
All right.
She's a mover and shaker over there, and she did a lot of work.
She did a lot of work.
And there's a lot of goofballs over there.
Yeah.
Because I was once on a board until I lost my election. They kicked me out of there. But there's a lot of goofballs who work there. And I go like, wow, this is a real stack-up place for goofballs. But Tara, she's a go-getter. She would
Well,
get everything done. She has a lot of glee in her. But the
So you're telling me
25 years.
this person had 26 years of service.
just to finish up for a second.
Okay, buddy.
They had the 7 pages, and rumor is she's coming back next week. So I hope that's true.
Well, but so here's the problem with that rumor that she's coming back next week. That's what we did, right? That this was the whole. If someone wants to tell me this wasn't intentional, fine. But at this point, I'm so just. I don't have a good adjective. That we cut and we cut and we cut and we cut positions. Seemingly, it was about connections, right? And I don't think I'm not the only one saying that right now.
Well,
I don't think there's a
it's
majority
clear.
of us.
If you're telling me what you said, it's
If you
clear.
did it, if you did it in the
Yeah.
if you did it in the treasurer's office, you did it everywhere else.
Yeah.
But now what you do is you say, okay, well, I need 6 votes to pass the budget. Not Tara, the girl at the senior center, that hit a couple heartstrings for a couple of counselors, right? So, well, now we'll just don't ask me questions about my budget. Don't ask me questions about here. You can have the senior center person back. We were never going to cut the senior center person, right? That's what this feels like. Right, you take a stab at something you know is going to be super unpopular.
Well, you see,
and you give us a win on the. senior center piece.
The shitty manager is from the state, and that's what everything's like. That's how you negotiate down there. You want your sister to get a job at the Registry of Motor Vehicles? Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, promotion.
But it looks like the only two that question this stuff, as far as when I watch the meetings, and I watch it on my computer because I don't get them live in Drake yet. Not live. They sometimes have the tape versions of them in Drake. Is that you and the mayor are the only ones that ask the questions, the tough questions about why is this happening to an employee that's been there for 26 years? I mean, it's just not, it's awful.
It's disgusting, and
mean-
I part of it is I don't know that
I mean,
it's
if the
only the
person
mayor
was
and I.
incompetent, or if the person was,
Then it
late
should have been,
every day,
but that's not
no.
what layoffs are for. Then it
No,
should have
right.
been disciplinary,
Right.
probably some point in the last 26 years, right? Like you would think if you're that bad of an employee, at some point in the last 26 years, there would have been something in your file.
Yeah.
But no, you filed in the public record because the employee came in and spoke at the council meeting. There was a workplace complaint, initiated a grievance against the new boss. Gone.
Wow. And I'm seeing what I'm observing, watching this. It's
And
not a new council anymore. You're into it 6 months already. It seems like the lady council from Belvedere has fallen in step with the Golden administration. I thought she may be a little more independent.
You
Like
said it.
you-
No, you said it, not me.
Who's that?
Like you and I always forget the gentleman's name that represents the acre. I'm sorry, Sydney.
Liang. He's great.
Yeah, he seems to be,
I love that.
Yeah,
Sitting next to him is great.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
So
And I would say I don't know that it's just the mayor and I. I don't feel that it's just the mayor and I with questions. I think sometimes, oftentimes, the mayor can have a lot to say. And then if he misses something and I go, or if I go and I have a lot to say, and then he comes down off the podium, there's not much left to ask. There's occasionally, right? So it's like, okay, well, and so like I know that there are a few other counselors I think who are.
Well, just like the lawyer can be cocky towards you, he knows that I don't work for you. I work for the manager, so I can be as cocky as I want. I'm going to say what I want because the manager will pat me on the back for saying it tomorrow morning.
Well, and it's why I keep referring. I've referred to him as the manager's solicitor or the administration solicitor
I've
pretty
heard
much
you say
exclusively for a couple months now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good way to put it because he is.
Mm-hmm.
And the people on the other side, remember, Bill Topia learned a lot about him. He would sit there and he would put his hand on his face like this, meaning you need 5 votes and you don't got them. And now you need, what, 6 votes?
You need
6 votes.
Yeah.
You need 4 for anytime you need 2/3. So the good news is we certainly, I think, we're no longer in the supermajority proof, right? We have 4
Well,
votes.
what you roll out
Well,
at the beginning?
let me ask-
At the beginning of tonight's meeting, you should roll out to the big genius, Mr. Manager. If we pass the budget as you have presented it right now, what will the tax rate be? And you go, what? We don't know. We don't.
Oh, I can tell you it's going to be higher than they're saying.
You demand the answer from the guy. Oh, you don't know. Well, when you do know, come back to us and we'll talk about this budget.
Can you, John or Tom or anybody, if you're watching at home, if you're still out there, can you explain to me? I've never done this in my life, but I guess I have a household budget and not a city's budget. But if I make my grocery list, right, and I make out my weekly budget, not even my yearly budget, go to the grocery store, and on the way to the grocery store, I decide, you know what, I think I'm going to stop and get $700,000 worth of steak. Is that not going to impact? That doesn't impact my bottom line at all? Right? Like, just on the way to the store, I'm going to spend the money, I have my plan, I'm going to adjust up $700,000.
Right.
Because that's what we did on Tuesday night. We had a budget. We had a budget presented to us with a series of cuts, a projected 4.66% rate increase. We got the enterprise funds all having fees go up. And then on Tuesday, we got handed a piece of paper that said, well, actually, we came to an agreement after being ordered to come to an agreement by a judge, and the agreement was 203 firefighters. And we've adjusted the bottom line of the budget up $700,000.
Well, you're right. They didn't mention the court order. The newspaper put that out there.
Yeah. We came to an agreement. We sat down for a cup of coffee at the Superior Courthouse.
Then he gets up. He gets up and he leaves for half an hour and shakes his hand.
It was remarkably well played. You have to give credit where credit is due. As far as the spin and the political play on that it was well done.
Yeah.
It was well done. You got handed an injunction and came back with a agreement.
Well, I just hope that this person with the 26 years does do something legally, because him or her, it's not right.
I think it's hard when you have people who don't have any experience as, a worker or in municipal government, either in municipal work, I work in schools, but even just as a worker, not as a manager, not as a C-suite, right? So, and when you come down off from high, right, and now you're sitting here and we're talking about, well, you were just doing, frankly, what I feel is unfair labor practice. I can say that. It's my opinion. But then you have people whose experience really is legal side in corporate when you were doing layoffs and putting packages together. And so who are we sympathetic to? Are we sympathetic? Are we not sympathetic to, like, I'm going to go out of my way to fight here, but I'm more likely to believe, a regular working Joe or a manager. And I guess we're seeing what that is.
Let me ask you a question.
It's disappointing.
Let's pretend you just, a hypothetical question. If you just couldn't take it anymore and you brought in a motion to vacate the office, how many votes would you have backing you up, do you think? And you don't have to name names.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I might know off air.
Yeah. Oh, off air.
I might know off air. I don't.
You didn't want to say the number. I don't want you to say names. I just said,
Tommy, I got 6 for you.
You got 6 for me?
6 for you.
Oh, 6. I think I meant 6 votes. We have to be accountable when it's our finances. When it's everyone else's money, you don't need to be accountable. Good morning. When you put in a manager with no management experience in charge, you end up with a pile of fertilizer for the citizens of Lowell. Also, Councilor Lang is asking the tough questions. He should be commended for his efforts. I agree with what I'm saying. Yeah. It is a coincidence that the 3 councilors who question the clerk's office budget are very close to the mayor. Any tie in there? Do bumping rights always apply automatically, or does the employee have to possess the specific skills and qualifications required for the new position?
Since when do you have to have specific skills to get a job?
I was going to say, if I could just really quickly, because I'll forget on that one, I'm sorry. The way the contract is written, to my understanding, which is, sometimes different, if you're bumping down, you should tend to be qualified for the job that is, lesser than the job you currently possess. And the head clerk and any of the clerical roles, the clerk roles are transferable across department because the title is head clerk. So head clerk in veterans and head clerk at the clerk's office and clerk at the purchasing, and it's clerical work. So you should be qualified to do the clerical work.
Sean, in
I think
in Lowell, you don't have to be qualified for anything. It's like being an elected official. You can be elected officials, and your duties are whatever you want.
Wait, it's the patronage networks. I know.
And it's a matter, if you know Tommy Golden, you got a job. Just that simple. Okay, Tommy, let's finish the text.
I think Councilor McDonough is much better counsel than his predecessor. I appreciate him coming on the show and taking the tough questions.
Thanks, Bart.
I talked
That's
to
the
my
last
brother
one.
who lives in Belvedere yesterday. He watches the show every week, at least when I'm on. And he said that he wished he could vote for you because he thinks you're a great counselor. I want to tell you a funny story, Jim. We were talking about qualifications for a job. Well, there was this old timer in Drake years ago. He was the superintendent of grounds for the school department. And he was retiring. And I said, so we'll call him Bill. Bill, so what are the qualifications for your job? He says, qualifications? You need 3 votes. He was French. You need 3 votes. In other words, 3 school committee people elect you. So no qualifications.
Well, so that's something, and I know it makes me. I'm different. It's okay. It's something that I like. Schools figured this out. The state figured this out on schools a long time ago, but municipalities are the city side of government is slower. The state in the 90s said, hey, hold on a second. There is a lot of just unqualified people working in public schools, and there's a lot of these patronage networks, right? You got to take a test. Whether the test is particularly rigorous or not, you got to take it. You want to be a superintendent of schools, you need a license from the state. It comes with, there's a test, there's an educational component, there's some base level qualification to run a school system. You want to run a city.
Not for a manager.
You want to run a city, you need 6 votes.
Mm-hmm.
The school committee also votes on the superintendent, but they have to pick from a pool of qualified applicants that meet a base level qualification. I think that's what we need. Never happened, but I think it's what we need. If you want a politician to run the city, we should elect them. If you want a professional manager, they should be qualified.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Right. Exactly.
Going forward.
We had a professional manager in Draco for 26 years. He lasted. He was the most non-political person. He wouldn't even go near a political party or anything. Nothing. Not you know how honest he was? He won one year. There was Warren Shaw was running for state rep, and he didn't vote in that election because he felt that it was politics. He was voting for somebody that's one of his bosses. Imagine that. That's how honest this guy was.
Wow.
And he would never, very rarely, I don't know if he ever came on this show, he very rarely came on these shows or anything. He just stayed in them, and he's still in Drake.
I think Dennis came once.
Yeah. He moved here from Maryland, came from Connecticut, moved here from Maryland, and he stayed here, and he's still a resident of Drake. So
That's, I think, I don't know. I think sometimes that people get enamored, they get lost in the Plan E sauce in Lowell. Like Lowell loves. There's a nicer way to say what I was gonna say, so I just won't say it. The bubble in Lowell, which I'm sure half of them are watching your show right now. They love to talk about how awesome Plan E is, and it really, this independent. But and I've said this on the show before. I've said this everywhere before. Plan E sounds great, and it works pretty well in a couple of cities. In Lowell, it's just a strong mayor. It's always just been a strong mayor. It's just that they're not publicly accountable. They're only accountable to the bubble.
yeah, and like I say, if you have a strong mayor, you could get away at every election and throw him out, or you could have a recall.
But you
on him.
can. But you can. You as a regular person. You as a
Yeah.
regular person can. You don't need to go. Okay, which neighborhood do we need to go to? Because we got we've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5. Oh, we need one more. Oh, it's gonna.
Yeah.
So you get 3 at-large councilors. You still need 3 neighborhood councilors. Not just to get rid of, to pick. Right?
Exactly.
Like when you're going through the hiring process, which is, I guess it could be fine if we were getting professional managers. But if we're going to be just taking former state, all we do is take.
Well, we had Bernie Lynch. I think it was before your time.
No, we had Bernie was
He was a professional manager.
Yep. And then you went for all
But
politicians.
who'd we have before Bernie Lynch?
Well, the thing is that I liked Eileen Donoghue because she could call the State House and get money.
Right.
Golden can't. Everybody lives with their phone. You see, if you go to voicemail, that person just doesn't want to talk to you. It's just that simple. Because they're on guard in case their wife calls, they answer on the first doggone ring. But if you're calling, they let it go to voice. What does this clown want? And so when somebody on the State House looks at caller ID, see Tommy Golden on caller ID, they go, let it go to voicemail.
I think
Eileen
whether
Donoghue, they would talk to her.
But I think whether somebody did a good job or a bad job as city manager, and I think Eileen was a fine city manager. I think that instead of the coin toss of is the next outgoing politician going to be one of the good ones or one of the less good ones, we should just have a professional one, and then we're not flipping the coin.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I think the only 2 professional managers you had in the city, let's go back 50 years before you were born, is Jim Sullivan and Bernie Lynch. Like you said, there was a guy, Jim Sullivan. But we had Paul Sheehy, who was a former state rep. Joe Tully was a former state senator. Bill Tapia was a strong mayor in Holyoke when he came
Tapia
here.
counts, I think.
Yeah.
Tapia counts as a professional.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't a Lowell politician.
Right. Then you had Murphy, Donahue, Cox. They were all politicians, And, I don't know. It's just, it'd be interesting to see what happens when Golden leaves. And, I don't know what his plans are. I don't know.
Well, he's got his 3 highest years, so he's happy now.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm thinking he's approaching 60. I'm not 100% sure.
We're running out of outgoing state reps. They're all young.
Yeah.
What's the
Now,
matter?
right?
Don't you want Vanner as the manager?
Oh.
She just got in the Senate. She's got to go. Well, what did Eileen do? You got to do at least 5 years.
I think she wanted to be the manager. Vanner, yeah. Vanner.
I don't think she has the vote. I don't know if anyone has the votes right now.
And this girl we have in Drake, I just want to is doing her job, and she's getting crucified for doing her job because she's not playing the politics, and she is sort of a professional manager.
But I think sometimes, and this is where I was going with the Plan E juice and smelling those Plan E fumes, is I think sometimes people who are inclined to be cautious or to kind of be, professional management, and we don't want to do too many political interference. But in Lowell, it's inherently political. I mean, everywhere it's political, but in Lowell, it's nakedly political.
Yeah.
And so, as a political body tasked with oversight of the city administration, you can't just, you shouldn't just be going along to get along, unless it's aligned with your political worldview, which is, I guess that's the question that people need to ask. And I think people get uncomfortable when you talk about, running a city as being a political thing. I don't know why that's so uncomfortable for people to talk about. It's why most communities elect their mayor. It's because it is inherently political. The budget decisions are inherently political. It's what it is. It's called,
we've had a couple of managers that were assistant managers that became the manager. Brian Martin was an assistant manager. He became the manager.
Yeah.
Jim Campbell was an assistant manager. He became the manager. But like I say, it's been.
But that's what assistant managers are, either in with the manager, out with the manager, or they stab the manager in the back and take their job.
Yeah.
That's not a good system either.
But the guy that's been around, the guy that survived, I think this is his 3rd or 4th manager, is the finance man.
Oh.
Right? He's survived.
It's like Game of Thrones, yeah. It is.
Tommy, I got 2.
Good. Connor Baldwin, I forgot his name. A question for the council. What time is garbage collection in the city supposed to start?
It is supposed to start no earlier than 7 a.m.
That's it.
If you see, and I do this, and I send the text over to I really like the assistant city manager. I send the text over to the assistant city manager with the picture of the trash truck every morning that I see him at 5:30.
I don't see anything wrong with former state officials, politicians becoming city or town managers, because qualifications shouldn't always be the requisite surrounding yourself with good people is also important. And besides, politicians have connections and they can bring the money in to a city or a town, and that's always the most important thing, the money. How much money has Golden brought into the city? Being this,
Well, I got to push back on that. Okay, would you hire Tommy Golden to come fix your refrigerator? Would you hire Tommy Golden to come and paint your house? And if the answer is no to those questions, then why did you hire him to run your city?
yeah, good point. Yeah,
He just doesn't have the mental tools necessary, and he has not hired somebody who has the mental tools available to run the city.
But my
The closest
pushback-
thing, if he didn't have Connor Baldwin, that's why Connor Baldwin's making so much money. Other towns are trying to scoop him up. So Golden's got to keep paying him more money because the town of Rentham wants to pay him this, Plymouth wants to pay him that, and you say, well,
I threw what do they call it, trial balloon out when I was on the town manager screening committee to try to get him to apply, and the person told me he's not, and he likes where he is, you know. Plus, he probably would have taken a pay cut coming to Drake it, but.
I think
And he's not really a politician, is he, Sean? Is he?
everyone who works at that level of municipal government is a politician.
Okay.
have you heard any one of Trump's cabinets not say he's a fantastic president, he's the best president we ever had? That's the city administration as well.
My pushback is less pushback than it is. It's not that I necessarily disagree. It's that if the texter here, if that's what the texter believes, then I think we should elect a strong mayor, and you can have your politician run the city. My point of contention here is that if you want a professional manager who should presumably be hired based on their managerial and municipal administrative skill set and qualification, that's one thing. That's what Plan E is laid out to be. If you want what the texter is describing, which is a politician with political connections and patronage networks that are tied with kind of running for higher level office, then we should elect them. The city should elect them. And you get to decide whose team you want in as Joe taxpayer.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is necessarily wrong. I'm saying that if that's what you want, there's a form of government in Massachusetts to get there, and there's a couple to pick from where you elect the mayor.
Well, if they can lay off employees been there for 26 years, if I was an employee at town hall, I'd be worried. I mean, because you never know, it could be you next. It could be, you know, they just pick and choose.
Right.
Wow.
You
know?
better say Tommy Golden's fantastic, or you're going to lose your job. It's sad that that's a reality, but
Oh, there was a question in the clerk's office, and the three of us, I don't know who the third one was. I know I had some questions about the clerk. I think Councilor Robinson has a question about the clerk. I'm missing the third one. But my point on the clerk actually comes down to whose job it was. It had very little to do with the mayor and had everything to do with the fact that the clerk, the city clerk is hired by the council and is a direct report of the city council, and that the function of that clerk's office, in my reading of both an organizational flowchart and the charter, is the council, and that underneath the office of the city clerk is elections. And I was trying to figure out, how did the clerk's office lose an employee and elections gained an employee? Was that a decision of the city clerk, or was that a decision of the city manager? Because if it was a decision of the city manager, that didn't strike me as correct, given that the clerk and his employees are outside the purview of the administration. And so the clerk's employees would include, the clerk's office and elections office. Okay. So that was really more my question was a process question there. And if that's the decision that was made anyway, it's the decision that was made. But who makes those? Because if the clerk's office now doesn't perform as well as it should have, and then it reflects poorly on the clerk's evaluation, that's between him and us.
Right.
The flaw with the clerk is simply this. When I did my investigation about what goes on with the city clerk is the only one who works for you. Maybe the assistant city clerk does too. That's a maybe. None of the other employees works for the council. They all work for the manager. Every piece of equipment in that office, telephones to pencils, is owned by the city manager's office.
Right.
So he can go in there and just say, take all the phones out. I think it'd be stupid to do that.
Right.
But to think that the city clerk's office is independent, no, they're not.
No, I agree.
They all have to have that Tommy Golden's the best flag on their car.
But I think that's not right. I don't disagree that is the reality as it currently exists today right now. I'm saying I don't understand how we got to that point though. If the clerk,
It was that way before we got there.
I know that's not new. This isn't new. It's the auditor is the same way, right? The auditor is a direct report to the council and works for us, but for some reason, day to day, she's running a Connor Baldwin, and it's like, well, but Connor Baldwin is the CFO.
I'm telling you, my history with little wayback machine, as John would call it, the auditor and the clerk, and at one time the city solicitor all came under the purview of the city council.
Right.
I don't know how it got out of control. Drake the town clerk falls under the town manager, but the town accountant falls under the board of selectmen.
My estimate is Bernie Lynch educated them. Bernie Lynch educated them who you're working for. That's what he educated them.
You mentioned, John, about maybe a month or so ago, you had sent a letter in, I think, to the town clerk, city clerk, asking for some information. Am I correct in that? Did you ever get an answer? And I forget, I don't know what.
Yeah, there was a rumor floating around that it was one school committee
Okay, that's what it was.
not sworn in,
Yeah,
and
they did answer you.
she's sick and she's recovering, and so I did my little investigation, and city clerk swears everybody in, and he said, I don't know, John. And then the mayor, I called the mayor, and he said, oh yeah, she was sworn in by the judge over the telephone. I was there.
Oh, okay.
So when the mayor told me she got sworn in over the phone by the judge,
You know, that's gospel.
end of story.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's a FaceTime video.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the other, I'm going to keep going. There's often a lot, and you see it online, and occasionally it bubbles up on the floor, about what is and is not either the purview of the council or what the council, you can't say that, or, oh, don't you know in Plan E, you will never be able to do X. I was talking to a different lawyer, with a decent amount of municipal experience, and I think the sticking to the fun line from that conversation was, yeah, I mean, can you directly add to the budget? No, you can't. Can you vote no and send the whole thing back? Yes. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you make recommendations on the floor?
Right.
Hey, Mr. Manager, what we'd really like to see is this, because you need your budget to pass. But I guess when you have 6 votes before the conversation even starts.
Oh, yeah.
But again, and that's where I would say to anyone who bothers to watch this show, you're engaged and you care. So I think when you look at last Tuesday's meeting, and we'll pay attention tonight and we'll see what happens, I have lost a lot of faith after the MIS department vote. After the MIS department vote, where we lost a 5-6 vote, I think that kind of told us everything we need to know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. But I think voting to refuse to even have a conversation about the out-of-control spending at MIS, whose budget is up $1.1 million in 3 years, because of all of these ARPA-funded positions that the administration swore up and down to the council wouldn't hammer the general fund when they came online, and now we've laid off.
Did you ever find out what really happened when we got hacked? The city got hacked?
No.
Still a big secret?
I don't know. We got LifeLock.
Still, because
I don't know.
People are telling me it's almost impossible to use a city computer. You have to put so many passwords in there.
And then you get the little there's like a 2-factor authentication. Yeah, there's a lot going on. We had a major.
The two-factor thing is simple. You get a text. That's easy.
But we had a major. I get you got to spend money to be safe or whatever, right? Okay. We had a major security breach, and there were no changes at that department except it got bigger. We didn't get anyone new, right? There was no turnover. Hey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, all I can tell you is iPhones can't get hacked, and people who have these Samsungs and everything else, Dell or whatever, Google phones, they can get hacked. Tommy, I think we got 4.
Our manager's a lot more professional than he conducts himself as a perfect, respectful gentleman. Then some of the city council is sorry voice
Is this
texting.
the lady from Drake?
Oh, okay, sorry voice testing. The manager is more professional than some of the city council is sorry I'm voice texting. It's just repetitive. Okay.
Did you just see it? Sean's Lowell side. He just turned to a Llewellyn. Who sent that text?
Is this that lady from Drake? Is that what I said?
Yeah. A lot of people have multiple talents.
Sure.
The producer just had a garbage truck on camera backing out onto Highland Street before 6 o'clock.
He
That's
was
insane.
told to come back after 6. He's coming back.
Good commercial tax base helps out more than a pack from the State House begging for money. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint whoever that texter was that I'm not professional enough. I can do more with my hands, and I'll start clicking the pen.
I didn't take it that way.
I'm kidding. I
couldn't
get a jab
understand
in.
the text because it was just all gibberish. She said she was voice texting, so that's tough sometimes. She's probably driving, so.
Well, maybe she's
Or he,
Golden's.
I was saying
Maybe
it's
she's
he.
Golden's cousin. You don't know.
I think
Maybe
I
he
think
got her a
there's-
job.
I think there's more to all of this. Somebody said, and it's one of those things I don't think you're actually supposed to tell people you know people say, but somebody had said early on, it's all a movie, and it's true. It's all perception, and it's all a song and a dance, but there's a lot going on behind it, and I think that sometimes it happens in local politics, it happens in state politics, it happens in national politics. Sometimes you wind up, any public figure can wind up having to play a role to try and achieve a desired outcome, right? Where you ever see someone on the floor of the U.S. Capitol, at the Capitol, right? And they're like, so yeah, they don't need to yell at anyone. They could just have a conversation too, but they gotta do it right now.
Yeah.
That's all. It's all it is.
Well, yesterday when I was down in D.C. probably 4 times a year, you'd go to the ranting and raving. There's no one in the audience.
Right.
The guys at the podium ranting and raving. And I used to hang around with the guys from C-SPAN when I would go down there. And they said, we're not allowed to show the empty chairs.
That would look bad. I think, and I know how you feel about him, John. So I bring this name up not to get you going, but to just make an example of what I'm trying to say, I guess. A couple weeks ago, I had Marty Meehan's the thing for naming the building after Marty Meehan.
Yeah.
I know.
The big job man.
It's a big job, man. I'm like, I don't want to work at the university, but he had said there were a number of other Congress people there, former Congress people that had been there with Marty, and Marty Meehan had said, I forget the guy's name. He was playing the quiet game, and he acted the right way, and he wore the right color ties, and he was nice to leadership, and blah blah blah, and he's going to be, the next chairman of Ways and Means of the Democrat. Next time the Democrats have control of the House, he's probably going to be the chair of Ways and Means. Okay, and I was, bombastic and trying to get on the front page of the New York Times because I wanted to pass campaign finance reform. Right. Different styles. It
Sure.
doesn't necessarily mean one of them was doing politics right or wrong. There's a desired outcome, and you're working towards it.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And you gotta look at what the goal is, not just what's in front of you. Why is someone doing that?
Yeah.
I guess that's what I try. I try and do that even with the 10 of my colleagues. Not necessarily there's what you're doing, and it's also okay, but is there a reason for it?
Yeah.
Or what is it? And some people it's pretty easy to figure out, and I don't want to besmirch anyone. Some people you can't. That's also fine. I think everyone thinks they're doing the right thing. I do. I genuinely think everyone thinks they're doing the right thing. I think all 11 councilors think they're doing what's best for the city, and I think there can be a disagreement. I think that's fine.
Agree to disagree. That's
Right.
what I tell everybody.
It's not. I don't think it's personal. I don't think it's a professionalism
I just
thing.
had
I think.
I just had an issue on the housing authority, and I remember on the Drake Housing Authority, and me and one of the board members battled head to toe on an issue, and I sent him an email the next day. I said, can we just agree to disagree? I mean, let's not.
Right.
Because I've known the guy for years, and he said, yes, we can agree. That he was just very strong and something, and I was strong against this thing, But as it turns out, everything's cool now,
Yeah. And then a couple of months later, there's probably going to be another issue, and then suddenly there was a vote. I mean, there was a vote on Tuesday. At the last Tuesday, it was the weirdest vote of the 5 months or whatever that I've been on the council, and I'm really happy with it, even if it was only a $15,000 cut. I had tried to cut this $30,000 item from the budget. I walked it back to a $15,000 cut after everyone balked. But it was the thing where it was like no one could explain to me what the money was for. I said, fine, cut the whole thing. And then suddenly they had an explanation for what the money was for. But the votes to pass the cut, it was Councilor Liang and I. the mayor, Councillor Robinson, and Councillor Rourke and Scott. So I mean, it was like that was the 6.
Yeah, yeah.
We might have. I don't remember if I had if Councillor Noon was with us or not either. We might have gotten to 7, but it was not. It was not the normal split that everyone is accustomed to seeing. They always vote this way, and they always. That's not real life.
Right. I always tell the story
It's issue by issue.
about councilors not getting along, and Phil Shea, my good friend who passed away this past winter, was the city council in Lowell. He served in with a gentleman by the name of Brendan Fleming. And every Tuesday night they would disagree. But the following term, Phil Shea was a candidate for mayor, and Brendan Fleming was his first vote for mayor because he felt that Phil was the most qualified to be. They didn't get along in issues, but
Right.
they could still walk out of that council chamber and have a cup of coffee or have a beer or whatever, and not,
Right.
And not agree to disagree. That's
Right.
that's one of my.
No, I don't have any. I have no personal problem. I don't. I think they're all doing what they think is the right thing. I think
Yeah.
we disagree on some of it, but I don't. And I think that happens a lot. And sometimes your texters do it, and it happens a lot online, where people start to take these like leaps into, a political disagreement or a disagreement over a single a policy or even a number of policy items turns into this like personal moral grudge match.
Right,
And I don't think that's really useful.
Right. So.
Because then when you actually have one, no one believes you. Right? When something actually is a real moral issue, everyone's like, yeah, okay, everything's a moral issue.
So let's talk a light issue. How's the family? How you looking forward to the summer? You guys?
I am really looking forward to the summer.
You guys gonna have some away time? You do away time, or you just
Yeah.
chill out in Lowell?
I think we're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Now, how old's your little guy?
He will be 2 at the end of this month.
Great, a lot of fun.
And I don't know what we're gonna do for his birthday this year. I did not go stand in front of the Board of Parks this year. So
When's his birthday? What day?
28th.
28th of June.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How old?
He'll be 2.
It's a terrible Tuesday.
Yeah, it's why I couldn't find it's why I was late this morning. I forgot he's
It's
very
easy
tall.
to blame the kid.
Oh, I'm gonna blame him because this is funny. So I should have hung up the car keys last night, but I put them on or whenever it was I got home last. I put them on the corner of the kitchen table, forgetting that I have a giant monster that lives in my house now. And he decided he took the car keys, and he has this toy car. It's like a little blue push car. You might see me walking around downtown Lowell with him driving. He took our real car keys and he put them in his blue car. Smart kid. He knows. Okay,
Right,
good
right.
for you. I'm looking everywhere for these car keys, and they were under the steering wheel of his toy car. Is when I finally found them to get here this morning because he just reached up and grabbed them. I'm not used to him being able to.
And your wife's a teacher.
Yeah.
In Lowell.
In Lowell.
And when's her last day? The end of.
It's late this year.
Yeah.
It's late. I don't
I
remember.
think I heard June 22nd or June
That sounds
23rd or
right.
something. Yeah. Because my grandchildren go in Lowell to school. I think that's what they told me. So good. You have some time off, and then enjoy
then I'm
your summer
back.
with them.
Yeah. Then I'm back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've enjoyed my Declan time. I've really, it's my son's name. I've really enjoyed. I mean, who wouldn't?
That's good.
But
That's good. It's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong
I
with
hate
that.
I hate not working though.
But still, you enjoyed. You had
Yeah.
some time to spend with him. Some
It was
quality
really
time.
nice.
And granted, he's only 2, but he'll remember this time.
No, and it
you
was
know.
it was nice. I mean, it was nice to be in a position to be able to do that. But also, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to work.
Right.
Wow, we still got 10 minutes until the break, and there's still nobody here.
Nobody here for what?
My empty chairs.
They're not coming. They're not
I know they're not coming.
Bobby banged up. Bobby's feel less than tip top today, which is unusual, but that's okay.
Yeah, Bobby's
And
usually a fighter.
Francisco's doing the radio today.
Yeah.
And he's going golfing. And about 7:10, we're going to call Francisco.
Okay.
And we'll go on the air. We'll have some fun with him.
Have you ever had a show, John, in how many years? 25 years you've been doing this, that everybody banged out on you and you had to like either do the show yourself or just cancel the show?
Only on a snowy day. See, if it's snowy
Because we didn't do Zoom back then. Yeah,
and we don't have internet. If we don't have internet, I text everybody, stay home.
yeah.
Because no internet, the show's not going anywhere.
I remember one year you texted me, "Don't come. It's snowing too bad. Don't just stay home. Don't even."
Stay
Yeah.
home. So I think there's 3 here, Tom.
Was not directed to the council. It was directed to the manager. Oh, okay. It was directed at the manager, not you.
It's okay.
Sorry,
I was-
I'm on
yeah.
the treadmill. I never know. I know I never met the manager, and I don't want a job from him, and yes, Sean, it's me from Drake and Jeannie. I know Jeannie, but I was born and bred in Lowell, and you never really leave Lowell. Yep, Jeannie was a former school committee member out in Drake.
Now, Jeannie, just a friendly.
Sorry, I
If you
couldn't
don't
help.
sign your text, it doesn't go out there. That's what happens. Last
Jeannie-
text.
Was it the hotel they named after Marty? The Man Illegal Alien?
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Pass.
And this text just came in. Did Mr. Bomil bring donuts? Sadly, no.
No. It's a good thing we didn't. Me and Sean would be puffing away on donuts all morning.
I know. I know. I meant no disrespect. I just thought it was funny that I can tell by the comments at this point. I'm like, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jeannie, she can correct me. She was in the school committee in Drake a term or two. Yeah. That's my old Drake history, you know. So.
I think.
Now, Jeannie's going to bring baklava. She says,
Oh.
Mr. McDonough, I keep my promises. I will bring in one of these days on Tuesday.
Oh.
With baklava. I promised I'll keep my promises.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh,
I
Jeannie,
love
that'd be
that.
great. Thanks.
We can talk more about. Maybe we'll talk more about this. Maybe we won't. I think someone said recently that I can come across a little negative or whatever, right? Like I'm a little aggressive, and I get it. It's why I put "we can have nice things" on my yard sign. my wife laughs about
I
it.
love that slogan.
Because I do think we can have nice things, but I also think that you get nice things by actually fighting it. They don't fall out of the sky. And I think one of the major hang-ups to nice things in Lowell is the patronage crap.
Yeah.
I really do, and I don't mean anything malicious when I say that. I think it's a reality. It's and John, you joke about it often enough, but you're serious when you joke about it. It's the truth. Get your sister a job. Get your cousin a job. Get your neighbor a job. Get anybody.
You
right?
can ask if Jesus came down to City Hall. Jesus knows the truth, and he could walk up to any City Hall employee and say, "How'd you get your job here?" And they'd say, "Well, I knew a city councilor. That's how I got my job. I had applied many times. I mean, I have a retired firefighter, retired policeman. They had to go to a state rep to actually get looked at to get a job in Lowell.
Right.
They had to go to a state rep to get
And
that
I
done.
think that's not.
That's how Lowell works.
That's how Lowell works, and that's not unique. When I say, if I am critical of the current administration, it's not unique to the current administration. It's a deep rooted, I think, problem. Some people maybe think it's not a problem. I don't like it in Lowell. It is.
Here's a perfect example of patronage. I'm going to play the pretend game. You were out of work. You're going to go back to work. I don't know where you're going.
I won't tell anyone.
When you
I
want to
know.
tell me something that you can, maybe you will when the show in August.
Last
or
show
something.
in August.
Anyways, you could have gone to somebody at City Hall and say, "Listen, there's a job open in Chumps. Can you make a call for me?" Let's pretend that.
Right.
But you wouldn't have done that.
Didn't
That's
do
what I'm saying. But there's also the thing of, let's just say I knew of a job in Drake. I'd say, "Sean, there's a job in Drake. Apply for it. Use me as a reference." There's
Right.
the difference.
That's fine. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
And that actually, that's
It
how.
just happened with somebody. Somebody I knew was applying for a job. So you put me down as a reference. Is that, you
Well,
know?
it's how I got. I mean, my job at Lowell High the first time, but when I was a nobody from Methuen, right, at Blowen.
We got Jeannie being a little guilty this morning.
No, you were right. I was saying that the manager was a perfect gentleman. And yes, at times, Sean, you are a perfect gentleman also. What about me, Jeannie?
Can you screen grab that and send that? Wait, can we send one of those to my wife and the other one to my mother? At times, I'm a perfect. I don't know if they'd agree with even at times. But
I was downtown the other night, and I said to my wife, I said, "I wish I had Sean's. I gotta get you
I'll give you my number.
And I was going to text you. We were across at Mandolin Bistro having some supper Sunday night. I'd buy you and your wife a drink.
Right across the street, yeah. What was it? Oh, so it's how I got the job at Lowell High the first time around, actually. And I had not like a political connection. I didn't know anybody. I've lived here for 10, 12, however many years.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew someone who was teaching at Lowell High. I was teaching in Methuen. They said, "Hey, you know how much more money Lowell pays? And they've got this opening. They haven't been able to fill it in 3 years. It's the same job you're doing right now. You walk to work." I said, yeah, okay, I'll put in an application. She goes, okay, yeah, you're great. I worked with you in Methuen. I'm gonna tell my boss you're applying. Oh, okay, thank you. Came in, went for an interview. Turns out I think I was the only applicant because there's a reason it had sat vacant for I think 3 years before I applied. But it's to your point on sometimes it's let me go get you a job. That's a problem.
Right.
Sometimes it's there is an opening, you should apply. I don't see a problem with that one. I personally I don't. Especially if then when there's multiple applicants, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
My wife, I always tell the story. My wife worked at the courthouse for 25 to 26 years, and somebody came to her. She was looking, and they said, hey, listen, you want to apply for it? Go ahead. Use me as a reference. God rest his soul, Freddie Sam was the guy, and she got the job on her own, but she went through the process of the application process. But Fred just told her there was a job opening. I can't promise you're going to get it, but at least I'm letting you know. And there's a difference.
And it was the same. So the same thing. While I was working at Lowell High in the special ed department, we needed. It's very hard to fill your special ed departments. It's why I felt so okay leaving, although I really liked that job.
How many years were you there, Sean?
I left in my third or fourth year. I don't remember. I'm bad at counting.
That's right. You're like 15, right? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm like 12. But I had worked, when I was teaching in Methuen, I had worked with this phenomenal BCBA who lives in Nashua. So he was driving from Nashua down Route 3 and then cutting up and over, right, come down over to go to Methuen.
Yeah.
And I found out how much, the pay in Lowell was not way better, but it was a little bit more, and it was significantly closer to his home. So I said, Matt, we need a BCBA. You were a phenomenal BCBA to work with. Let me see. I'll walk. Hey, are we still looking for the BCBA? Yeah, I think the posting's going to have to go back up because nobody applied. Oh, okay. A friend of mine who I worked with, he's really good. He's going to put in an application if you're still looking. But he only wants to work at the high school because they're district-wide, so it's hard to tell where you're going to work.
Okay.
So it's because the BCBA's work for the district, but he was like he's only ever worked with 14 to 22-year-olds. So he's not he sometimes he holds up on his applications. He doesn't want to get stuck with 3-year-olds. Put it in. There were a couple in there. He wound up getting it, but no one I knew was even in the panel. It was just a we're looking for someone.
Tell me, these are the last two texts for this.
Was it the hotel they named after Marty? But that one was already up there. I think the Me and Illegal Alien Inn and Conference Center. Mr. McD, if Jesus comes to City Hall, all you're really going to care about is what are they having for the Last Supper, and you can go to it.
And the building they named after Marty Meehan is at the St. Joseph's Hospital.
Yeah,
They tore down the front. They put a new one in.
Glass Palace.
Yeah.
If you're coming from Pawtucketville going over the Howe Bridge, which is it's the newest bridge. When you stop at that light, you look at it's the Meehan something or other.
Now the conference center closes the end of June, right? Correct.
Yeah.
I think that's going to become permanent homeless.
Oh, it's going.
I don't know.
I thought it was closing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Unless something happened.
They're going to have a state-staffed kitchen. Jobs, man. Jobs.
They never should have. I mean, the city needed a hotel, but now it'd be dead so. But I mean, it just.
Right, and MCC is really looking to do
Hey, we're
something
going
with
off to
that
break
building.
land, and we'll be back. Thanks.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the June 2nd edition of City Life. We had a very good hour on the Dawn Patrol talking about different items. I'm sure we'll talk about the same thing for this hour for the Lowell people to see. With me is City Councilor Sean McDonough.
Hello.
We don't have with us this morning my good friend Bob Hoey, who's under the weather today, and Cisco Maldonado. We're going to be talking to him pretty soon, I guess. Right, John? We're going to give him a call at this new gig.
We're going to try and get them on the,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to do a simulcast. They don't know, but we'll see if we can do it.
So I know you guys worked, how many hours last week on the budget? And that must have been the main thing last week.
We went 3 hours. Then went home.
And then you're meeting tonight at 6, I heard? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Yeah. So nothing's changed. They brought the firefighters back. That's what what I read.
Well played.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, let the air out of the right. It's like a balloon.
Yeah.
I am disappointed. I'm going to say this. I'm sorry, firefighters. I'm disappointed, though, that you take the administration to court and then you show up and you sing the guy's praises. Like,
Well, I
thanks for
saw that
working with
Andrew.
us.
Was it Andrew Late? Andrew
Yeah.
Late. I saw his speech, and he more or less said, yeah, he kind of gave Golden a pat in the back, told me about how they negotiated and it went well, But it was only him and the two of them, right? Nobody else, right?
That's what I heard.
And
Yeah.
they didn't even meet at City Hall. I heard they met outside of City Hall,
Right.
which is smart, So
No, and I mean, maybe I don't know what they could have worked up, but that's fine. No, I don't. You know what? I'm glad the firefighters are back. I fully support the Lowell Fire Department. I am still having a hard time. I said this in the first hour. I'm gonna say it again. I have a really hard time with on Tuesday night the bottom line adjusting up about $700,000 and no. So we had to put the administration had to present us a budget, and there was some coverage, and I know we're going to call, but the administration was obligated to present the council with a budget that funded 203 firefighter positions. There was some coverage in one of the columns this weekend. The council is not obligated. Now, I was going to support 203 firefighters. This is a process problem for me. The council is not obligated to fund them. The manager is obligated to budget them. Mm-hmm. Which is we, as the council, we can cut almost anything we want. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's no one wants. I hope nobody. I know I personally didn't want to cut from the fire department, so that's not why I bring this up. I just think it's important to note the big issue is that the administration overstepped twice, and they did the job of the council by cutting the fire department. If you wanted to cut the fire department, that was a council decision, not the administration's decision. So they put it back in. Fire department's fully funded at their 203 positions. There were no cuts anywhere else in the budget, and the projection on the tax increase remained the same. So we'll watch and see if and when that gets adjusted. Otherwise, we're going to be going to rob the piggy bank so that Lowell can be more expensive for Declan when he's an adult.
how many people ended up getting laid off total?
I think we're at 30 now.
How many? I'm sorry.
I believe it was at 30, but now
30.
it sounds like Tara's back, so maybe 29. I don't.
All right.
I gotta take a look through the updated.
Now, is there any
list.
shot for this person that was there for 26 years of getting that position back? I mean, you never know, but is there any sympathy towards this person or nothing from the city manager's office? No.
Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. We're talking to the Cisco kid.
I know.
I don't care. I'll call 7:30. Easy to do.
Okay. Sorry. I got distracted.
That's all right. Me too. It's okay. 7:30, John.
At 7:30, they get.
They're
They
on
get
they're on
commercials
the air
out.
for like 15 minutes an hour, and you're gonna take their time.
Hey, He's doing what he's just doing what they told him to do.
So you wanted to do the agenda, John? Did you say? Or
Yeah.
You wanna,
What were you asking, Tom? I'm sorry.
I was asking how many people. At first, I
I
asked you how
believe
many.
it's
You said
30.
and I said,
I
is there
believe
any
it's 30.
chance of this person with the 26 years experience and longevity?
I think it's
of
gonna.
getting
I
that
think
posi-
it's probably a labor matter. I think is how this is gonna go. I think it's gonna. I think that this is going to cost the city more money in the long run. Not only do I think it was the wrong thing to do, I think that we have a track record of losing on these. Right? We mean the city administration. We have a losing track record in court. So we just got handed another big L on the injunction. So I mean, if we have faith that he couldn't read the firefighters contract and compare that with Mass General Law and got handed an injunction, which is again very difficult to win an injunction, right? Okay, yeah, maybe he read it right this time. Maybe this won't cost us money. Maybe we won't get tied up in court. I don't know. It's a leap.
I think what you have to, and they're going to say, oh, we don't know what the tax rate's going to be until it comes back from the state. We have to see if it's approved. Then you say to the manager, what's your best guess, Mr. Manager?
Well, we adjusted
And
it
he'll
up.
say, I won't guess. Okay, how about Mr. Baldwin? Give us your best guess, Mr. Baldwin.
Well, what they did, and I know you're pulling it up, but what they did is they took.
I've got two texts to do. Then we'll
Okay.
do the. Go ahead.
We took for projecting state aid. We had originally taken the House budget's state aid number, which is low. It's the lowest of the three. The Senate's budget has a much higher projected local aid number. So now we're using the Senate budget's local aid number. So if that goes through and is unadjusted, we win. If it doesn't, we lose.
Hopefully, with the Spinners coming back to Louisville, will generate a buzz and bring back baseball to the park that is empty most of the time.
It was very fun on Friday. I went on Friday did I go on Friday or Saturday? I went on Saturday. It was very fun.
Unfortunately, they're 0-4 right now.
They're not very good right now, but it was a fun time. And the food is it's a cheap way. It's cheap and it's fun.
I remember the Spinners. The original Spinners. That was a cheap, good time at
Yeah,
at the
it was
park.
a
I went
cheap-
a couple of times. Yeah.
I will say, look if you don't like baseball, that's fine. For $15 a ticket with $4 hot dogs, I think it was.
Oh,
That's
love
pretty.
hot
It's a
dogs.
pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal.
Oh, I love hot dogs.
$30 kids 2 and under are free, so $30. My wife and I took Declan out. We only stayed for about 4 innings.
Yeah, he's probably getting.
We went a little early, then he got a little antsy. We did some running around. He really enjoyed it. It was getting close to nap
Where do you
time.
park?
Bedtime
Next to the
anyway.
park? Is that
We
the
walked.
garage? No, I knew,
But you
know-
could park, yeah.
Yeah, I know there was a parking lot right
The
there.
university does parking in their garage too, so
Hmm.
because there's no school right now. So
Yeah. So.
there was an issue. Somebody told me I gotta keep following up on this, where the city was saying that event parking was going to be $10, and then they got there and it was $15, and it was a whole
Oh,
issue.
boy.
But
There we go. The agenda, June 2nd.
I'm going to shrink this up so it fits on the screen. Oh, wow, it's much bigger than I thought. Okay.
I don't know how you zoom out. Excuse me. There you go.
Can you read that?
Yep.
Okay. So, you guys already done a lot of this stuff?
We are on 3.1, which is also 4.1.
So
Okay.
you're still going to have the hearings for,
We still got to have the capital plan. That's a 2/3 vote. We still got to have parking capital improvements. We still have to have the ordinance for the water and sewer, and then we have to have the fee change for water and sewer.
Tommy, what are you drinking over there?
Flavored water. I buy the Poland Spring and I pour those little packets and they have there's like
Oh, okay.
That's like a fruit punch. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
okay. The,
It's a Cape Codder.
now, will you tell me why department heads aren't answering questions? Like, when you had, you asked the city clerk, why is he doing this? And he goes, blah, 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 and then Connor Baldwin takes over.
Right.
Why don't the department heads make up their budget, or does
Well,
Connor
so
Baldwin
what
make
happened
up-
is the department whose budget went up $1.1 million, he was allowed to talk about how come he needs all this more money and sing a song and a dance. But anytime that we had a question about cuts and how it affected the department, that went to Connor Baldwin. So if someone wanted to defend their budget increasing $1.1 million in 3 years, they were put at the stand.
Well, you can say,
given
well,
time to
respectfully,
answer.
Mr. Baldwin, I want to know from the department head who actually is going to spend or not spend this money.
Right.
I want his answer.
Well, and I still can't get an answer. I'm going to go back to MIS. I still can't get an answer. MIS is up $1.1 million, $495,000 this year on salaries for managerial positions, $700,000 this year on salaries in total. And yet, the fire department has their own tech budget. The police department has their own tech budget. The schools are charged 44.33% of MIS's operating budget is charged to net school spending. So I guess maybe that's why it's easy to run that up however you want, because we don't pay for it. We just charge it off against the schools. They get nothing, I've asked. They get nothing from MIS. The health department has a computer budget. I got a couple other on my notes at home for all these departments that have their own tech and software and computer budgets. Well, isn't that what the centralized computer department is
Well,
for
no,
with the
see,
1.1 million extra dollars?
We have software at the funeral homes. We have software that just do death certificates.
Right.
We have software that just do the funeral program, pricing. We have software that does that. And these software companies, they all operate off the cloud. By that I mean it doesn't run off your laptop anymore. All the information you're getting is on the internet. And so when the software provider just says, look, it's time for an upgrade, he just shuts you off.
Right.
So I want to do my budget today. You can't do no, you can't.
Oh no,
Shut off.
I'm here.
So I have to pay for, boss. I have to pay for the upgraded software. Otherwise, I won't get that service from that company anymore.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, how do you have a city tech department have their budget go up $1.1 million, but all of the individual departments still have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their own? So what software is it that what is the centralized? And this was the question that I haven't got an answer to. What is the centralized tech department doing with all of their money if all of our sub-departments have to get all their own stuff anyway? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what software is it that they're running?
Well, do they charge each other for service? So I would ask the guy, okay, so if the girl who runs billing
Right.
has to call the guy who runs all the computers, does he charge her a fee to give her an answer?
Well, and then here's...
It's kind of like, okay, you need a ream of paper. I want a receipt for this ream of paper because it's city property.
Right. Well, and then the other thing that I thought was interesting is we asked when purchasing came up, and there was a question. They had like a $15,000 professional service. They had a very large professional services budget. We said, "What is this?" But it turns out it's coded as professional services, but the purchasing officer said, "Oh, that's actually the phone bill for the city." Hold on, wait a second. The phone bill for the city is professional services for the purchasing department. So again, I'm going to go back to MIS and say, what is it that they pay for? It's not the phones. It's not any of the department's computers.
Now,
And 311 that doesn't work, I guess. I don't know.
Let's use the example of the purchasing agent. Was the purchasing agent at the budget meeting to
Yes.
talk about his budget?
They were all at the
So
budget meeting.
Okay, any department.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go, John always talks about the Wayback Machine. I remember when I worked for the health department back in the 70s, and my boss would have to go to the budget meeting about, the health department budget. He was the chief health inspector. It was a lot different than it is now. And he would have to go before the council if they had any questions. Sometimes they had questions for him, but he had to be there if they had questions. If they didn't, but that's when they went line by line. There was no, what you doing this year, right? Yeah.
Well, and then I think sometimes it doesn't matter what they say because people have the votes lined up. So there was a question. Councilor Liang had the question, and then I made the question more aggressive, I guess. We were talking about the human resources budget, and there was a position called Community Employee Liaison. And Councilor Yang said, "Can someone just tell me what this person? What is this job? What is a employee community liaison? What do they do?"
Right.
And the HR director got up, and I mean, you can go watch the meeting, and someone can tell you if I'm being too flip in this. But he basically said, "Well, that position is, it's a position, and what they do, they have a job." And they, conversations between, and the community. And I said, okay, I came in, Councilor Yang was done with his question. He asked again and got the same answer. I said, okay, no, I am going to just rephrase Councilor Yang's question. I have no idea what you're saying. Right? Like
Beautiful.
I have no idea what you're saying. You
Beautiful.
Councilor Yang said, "What is this position? You just gave us word salad. Seriously, what is the job?" And it was, there's these conversations and they're taking place. And
What was the response? When you said, you gave me word salad, well,
he gave me another round of word salad. So then I made a motion to cut the position, and it fell flat on its face, and I was standing there with my butt out
wow.
because that's how it goes. We were. I don't think
Is
we
that
were.
somebody's wife?
I
Her
don't
husband?
know. I don't think we were supposed to have that conversation, but I didn't get the memo.
You didn't get any support on your motion?
No, which is fine.
No,
I think
not all
I think it. Quite honestly, from after the meeting, and maybe people were just trying to butter me up
still,
again after.
Sean, I
but
still think that
So it
if
was
you...
a 10-1 vote?
it wasn't a vote.
Oh, there wasn't a vote. Oh,
I didn't get a second.
Oh, man. That's awful.
So we couldn't even talk about it. That's why I'm saying it now. We couldn't even talk about it, which is fine. It happens. Look, you win some, you lose some. I lost that one. I don't care. I actually thought Councillor Scott made a much better explanation. Maybe it reflects more poorly on HR than it does on the position, possibly. Councillor Scott made a stronger case for that position after I failed to get a second than the HR director did before I made it. And the reason I made it is because if you can't tell us what somebody does,
Sean, bottom line is
do you
you got to get out of this
Councillor
guy.
Scott had a better explanation.
You got to get out of this guy. What is your estimate of what the taxes are going to be this fall?
Yeah.
What is the estimate, Mister? If we pass it, what's your estimate? I don't know. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Well,
and when you figure it out, I'm going to vote on this budget. I want to know how much we're going up.
I think what's going to happen is the city council has convinced itself, and the city has convinced itself that we are in a rush to pass a budget,
We always are.
which is confusing because we have until the end of the month, and there have been times in the city's history, and not that long ago, that even at the end of the month, if the budget wasn't done, you do a
don't know
continuing
the big
resolution at
secret?
1/12.
You don't know the big secret?
I know what's the secret?
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
What the big secret is, what the big hurry's for.
Okay.
There's a wedding.
Oh. I think
No, I'm lost.
I'm lost.
tell you after the show.
Someone's getting a job. Someone's
Yeah.
getting a job.
I'll tell you after the show.
I think that
Let's take a 5-minute recess.
I think
No,
that
Facebook doesn't get shut off. I don't call the Facebook people either.
I think we are doing a disservice. I think that in a couple of months, if state aid materializes, if this Senate number comes in and the rest of the budget is perfect, and also we got all the money that they're now projecting based off the highest of the three numbers from the state projections, okay, I can live with looking like Chicken Little here and saying we should be responsible. I'm not even necessarily saying this is wrong. I'm saying I think it's irresponsible to project that much money without. It is so outside of a conservative estimate, right? That if every dime doesn't materialize, it's going to hit either reserves or we're going to have to adjust the tax rate. And then we also have kicked the can on the employee raises, and I'm glad, a 2% deferral is a 2% deferral, but it's an 11-month deferral, so the raise is still going to kick in, and I don't think any money's falling out of the sky between now and next year, so we're going to be in this position again a year from now. So we can continue to just kick the can, which is I think what we're going to do. It seems to be what the appetite on the council is to see how far we can kick a can. It's a contest. I think it's time to stop kicking the can, and if that means more cuts, it means more cuts.
You got to go with a hiring freeze because retirement season's right now. They're going to retire over the summer, so you're going to have a lot of positions open up. If you get a hiring freeze right now, those positions don't get filled.
Right.
So I got some text for Tommy. I think you got 3, Tom.
I think the position was a liaison between City Hall and the public. Okay? Does Mr. Bowman remember the drink called Zarex? I do. Yep, it's this. What does Tom typically have with the hot dog? Beans, chili, mustard, and relish. Did I? That's what I usually have in my hot
Sean,
dog.
what do you put on your hot dog?
I'm usually just mustard. I'm plain.
If I'm at home, I'll do piccalilli.
Okay.
And if I'm elsewhere, I'll put whatever they have I want on that hot dog.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
yeah.
like a good cheese dog too. I mean, just put a.
If they have cheese, I'll take it.
I like the onions and the red sauce.
I tell them all around, whatever you want to call it.
Cheeseburgers, oh, I die for a cheeseburger. Right now, I could eat a cheeseburger for
Because
breakfast.
the two best places to get hot dog right now is George's Delicatessen.
Yeah, George's is
Oh,
good.
boy, they're good hot dogs out there.
It must be Essems. I bet you they're Essems.
And Gary's. The
Oh, I've had 'em at Gary's.
The Chelmsford Creamery. I can't believe. Go
They've-
there and
I
get
don't-
hot
I
dog.
think I've
Delicious.
I've had the hot dogs at Gary's, and I think they're Essems because you can almost tell the natural casing.
But Old Faithful I've been going to since I was a kid. Lackluster.
Uh-oh.
Lackluster.
Yeah.
So we'll give them a 6-month vacation and see what happens.
I forget what I was. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're kicking the can. That's all. On the budget, I think we're kicking the can. I think it's wrong. I think
So will this be wrapped up tonight? Or you-
probably.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what the point is. You sit there and ask questions. You get 6 counselors that are just going to vote yes on anything. So, and again, they think it's the right thing to do. I don't fault them for
Their
it.
relatives are going to get fired. If we don't have this money, we're going to have to fire your relatives.
I don't fault them for it. If they think it's the right thing to do, they think it's the right thing to do. I think I'm surprised by one of the 6. I think a lot of people who are paying attention are probably surprised by one of the 6. But
Is that the person I spoke about earlier?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's surprising. Not even necessarily that you agree and disagree on certain spots, but just that MIS vote was not. It wasn't even a cut. It was just to continue having the discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's. Will the panel eat a hot dog?
If it
If
doesn't
there
have
is
a roll.
only bread, no rolls. Ooh,
Oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Not
But,
happy about
no,
it.
No.
I
There's
make a roll
something-
out of the bread.
If you won't eat a hot dog on a piece of bread, there's something wrong.
No,
with
I'll
you.
eat it.
Something wrong with you.
I'll eat
I
it.
wish Gary's of Elliott's was open. I'd bring hot dogs in instead of donuts some week. You know.
Nah.
You can't have a hot dog for breakfast, John? 'Cause I could have a hot
Well, I
dog.
can
for
have a hot
breakfast.
dog for breakfast, but I'm done with Elliott's for 6 months.
Yeah.
Just
I haven't been there in a while, so. But Gary's don't open
you-
until 10.
You'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
I
Gary's
just like, wow, what a difference. There's no specialty at all.
Now you must remember going down the river with the Lawtons, right? Did you ever go down there? Down the Lawtons?
Lawrence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
A
good.
little
hot
tough
dog.
for place for parking down
Yeah,
there.
oh yeah.
I used to
yeah.
get down to Ralphie Mercy and would double park the car,
Yeah?
and I'd run inside, get us our treat. Ralphie would be out in the car, and we never got a ticket.
No.
Cops would come over, move the car, and he'd growl. He knew what to say to the cops, so we had a lot of good time.
The other, not on hot dogs. The other thing that's difficult. Sorry, I'm going back to Jeannie or however I say her
Jeannie
name.
Balkus.
Jean Balkus. She had mentioned about the professionalism thing, and I think that's actually part of the problem. Part of the problem is that a lot of people, if you put the tie on and you move your hands the right way and you say it confidently, you can get away with murder. I mean, you can get away with quite a lot, right? Like,
Oh.
this is absolutely necessary for the safety of our city. Oh, okay. It's absolutely necessary for the safety. I don't want to question that. It's absolutely necessary. He said it confidently, right?
Oh.
And I understand it. Part of it is my affect. Like
Well,
part of it is the way I present myself, and maybe I gotta go to mean school or something and learn how to just do this a couple times. But
Well, Mr. Manager, respectfully, where were those words when you were laying off firefighters
right,
and you laid off cops? Where were those words then?
right. But I mean, in general, right? So when you look, and it happened with MI, when you look, or if I bring up, if you were to look so that I don't say the number and have someone go, well, actually it was 65,000, not 70,000. How could you say that? If you look at the budget from 2023 and you look at the pay of some of the top guys, they were all guys.
Yeah.
And you look at this year's budget and you look at those same people and how much more money they're making, or you want to really set yourself up. If you go back to 2022, because there's even one position that is a carryover, and you look at what people were getting paid with Eileen Donahue as the manager, and the same person in the same position is getting paid now. And I go, oh, well, it's been a couple of years. Yeah, okay. I've never gotten a $70,000 raise in my life. I don't care over 3 years, over 4 years.
you
70
see,
grand?
when Sudbury has you an email,
Cambridge pays $220. What do we pay?
if Sudbury sends you an email,
Cambridge what?
Cambridge, Massachusetts
And
pays
they
their
want you-
CFO $220.
they
The
want you to be
manager?
city manager.
CFO.
Oh, because I know the city manager's probably at
Megan Moore.
300.
Oh, yeah.
They want you to be city manager in Sudbury, and they're offering you $270.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You take it to your boss and say, hey, I got 270 to go to Sudbury.
Yeah, and if you're the boss, at some point you say,
You can't, see, the thing is that
sometimes you grow and
Golden
move on.
cannot shine at all without Baldwin.
But
Say that again, John.
Golden cannot shine in
I agree
any
with
shape
you.
or form without
What
Baldwin.
I've heard about this guy,
He's got to keep Baldwin.
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is,
Financial whiz.
at some point, if you get, if that's the kind of money you think you command, sometimes that means you move. It does, and that's okay.
Unless your boss will match it.
But I'm saying,
And your
as
city council goes like, let's give Tommy a raise.
I think the raises, and it's not just that one raise. The raises were out of control for the last 3 years. They're not as high as they've been this year. There are still a few. There's one coming up tonight. I think it's a $15,000 raise. I get an issue with. I bet nobody else will, but I will.
Now, what's Connor Baldwin get a year? It's public record. You can say.
I think he's up to $259 now.
No, is he worth $259?
Don't forget, Golden has no tires without the tire.
Meaning, if Connor Baldwin said tomorrow I can go to Drake
going to
for 10
Sudbury.
grand more, would
Can
you
you
guys try to keep him?
I-
Or would the manager try to keep him?
Maybe I'm insane. I look at it and say, not at the person, at the function, at that function. What does that cost in other communities, and can we do it for?
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
if we can get another person who's good at the job for $210,000,
Good point.
right?
Yeah.
And you don't lose someone for that. I'm just.
No, you're good point. Good point. You're good point. You are correct. President Biden wore a tie and looked professional, but was not qualified for the job.
No comment. I think that's all. I guess all I'm saying is when you hit the point where you're laying off 30 plus city workers, and the vast majority of them were workers.
Yeah.
And there was some noise made about, oh, well, ordinance employees too. And then you look at what ordinance employees, and the majority of the ordinance employees that got hit were making 50 grand. They were not managers. They weren't managers or assistant managers or whatever. They were, the guy. You talk about the community liaison. You kept the $97,000 one in HR, but we lost two. The one who went to all the community events and did all the pictures and social media posts, which, whether we needed it or not, I don't know, but it was only a $50-something thousand a year job. And the other one that went to all the neighborhood meetings was a $50,000 something a year job. So you lose two people, you keep one. The one you keep is a higher title, and you lose two workers.
Yeah.
That's more. I get in back to MIS. MIS is down 15 positions and up $1.1 million. So they're down 15 positions, and I had asked a question. Okay, so you have two. You have a chief information officer and a deputy chief information officer. The argument for bringing in the deputy was the department has grown in size, and this won't hit the general fund. We're going to bring it in on ARPA, but the department's grown in size, and it won't hit the general fund. ARPA's gone. It hit the general fund, and the total department size is cut in half. We went from 30 to 15 employees. Why do you still need two managers? Oh, we need them. I don't know. We need them. We shouldn't even talk about it. 5'6". 5'6". 5'6". Careful reading. Remember everyone said?
I like that 5'6". I like that.
Remember everyone said, "Oh, careful reading, and we're going to hold people accountable, and this and that." It was all a lie, I guess. It was phony. It was a campaign. I think some people are living up to what they said they would do on the campaign trail, and I think some people are not. And I'll leave that to the viewer at home to decide who those people are.
You're in the deal.
Sean, have you heard the term total liability yet?
Yes.
And to me, total liability means this person was getting a raise tonight. I would ask, what's the total liability for this person? Because that includes all perks and their pension.
Mm-hmm.
What's that figure, sir?
I don't know.
And when they realize that, okay, the person's making 75 grand a year, but with all the perks, they're making 125.
I think one of the things that and this doesn't include the whole thing, but
Because you guys never ask for total liability. You guys just want the salary.
Well, and we get the exact salaries. One of the things that I noticed that the school side does in their budget that the city doesn't seem to do is the school uses an average, and I know it doesn't include the total liability, but it does at least include, the average over the span of the contract, which might help explain why we don't usually wind up in the 2% pause area. One, because Paul Georges will never agree, and two, because it's the school's budget, every teacher at $104,000, even though very few, that's not the average salary.
Right.
And I'll say that until I'm blue in the face. I don't care where they got that number from. That's not the average salary of a teacher in Lowell. That's not what I was getting paid. That's not what my wife was getting paid. That's not what anyone who with less than 10 or 12 years was getting paid.
Right.
So, but they use that number because there are a few people that are making more than that. There's a good number of people making a lot less than that. And so they wind up with a little bit of breathing room in their salaries, but they didn't just fabricate a position. They just said, okay, what's the midpoint? They went, what's the, I forget how we got the number. It's not the midpoint of the pay scale because it doesn't keep going that much higher. It starts at 60 and it goes to like 110 if you have all the degrees and 30 years and all the whatever. But they said, okay, what step, it was like master's degree plus whatever, step 8 or something.
Right.
And they said, that's what we're going to use. Well, we have those pay scales. We could do that for most of our positions, but we go with the exact dollar amount.
And then you're talking about all the employees, most of them probably take the health insurance. Most of them get other little perks that are, some may not take the health insurance. But,
right, and the pension liabilities are killing us. The pension liabilities are killing us, and some part of the way you control pension liability is not having so many $200,000 employees.
Do assistant managers get cars or just the manager?
They don't get cars.
They have cars?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I think.
Yeah. Because our manager, when they hired her back last year, beginning of 2025, she decided she didn't want the car. She wanted, instead of a monthly allowance, whatever, it's better financially for her, I guess, or whatever. I don't know what they're paying her, but at least that was what it was. I don't think she has a car. I think she has her own car that they pay her finances, So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I think it's difficult when I see when there's a counselor who talks about, tightening the belt when we're cutting youth programming, right? So there was this thing, they wanted, the administration had proposed reducing the summer rec program. And there was a big public outcry, and much to his credit, the manager made it work this year, right? He got it back. There was still a pretty big hit, $200,000 hit to the rec department, which about 20%. They only have $1 million budget to begin with, so it's almost 20% hit to the rec department's budget. But you have, someone, maybe there's more than one, but I know one person said it at a meeting, so you can go back and watch the tape. Well, now's the time to tighten the belt, and, we got to be careful with these superfluous programs. And you're talking about programming for 3 to 5 year olds, because that's superfluous, right? Something enjoyable for, children in the city. 3 to 5 year old kids with nothing else to do, because kids with means are not going to the free rec program. I'm sorry, kids from families with means are going to paid camps and paid whatever. I looked, UMass Lowell runs a paid camp. I'm very upset with it. It was he did a great project, but UMass Lowell, people are paying $300, $290 a week to send their kid to this thing at the Tsongas Center. There's paid programs all over the place. The city of Lowell has a free program for kids. And we have a counselor talking about, now's the time to tighten the belt. And the same counselor, it's a 5-6 vote. We can't review MIS. $1.1 million up in 3 years.
Right.
So this isn't natural. These are decisions. These are political decisions. You are saying that money, I'm sorry that it makes people uncomfortable when you put it this way. You are saying that money is more important than 3 to 5 year olds rec programming. I think that's wrong. Every yes vote, every time you refuse to make a cut, you're either saying the taxes should go up or I agree with the programs that have been cut. Those are my priorities. And I just wonder if those are the priorities. When I said we can have nice things, and I think other counselors, they might not have said when they were running we can have nice things. But I can't imagine looking at a 4-year-old and saying, I'm sorry, Jimmy, your summer programming needs to be cut. It's time to tighten the belt. And then you turn around, you look at the tech department and say, they get another $700,000 in salary and wages this year.
They can't vote.
Being a professional means you have both emotional intelligence and a polished presentation. You have to be calm under pressure and dress professionally because your appearance sets the stage for credibility. Just like you, Sean, you always look professional, and that's very admirable, even though I don't always agree with you. Now, you seem to do your homework. You were just talking, you went on that little rant, whatever.
Sorry?
You do your homework, and I'm impressed with that. What do your constituents tell you? Your downtown constituents, are they happy with what you're doing so far? The ones that you can...
So far,
Okay.
yeah. I went on.
A lot of people in back Central Street or wherever, you know.
So far, I seem to be doing okay. I think I
That's
went
all that
on.
matters.
I went on that podcast, and I was doing okay. I went on the podcast and got into it with the host, and I'm doing even better since
With
then.
Teddy?
Yeah, with Teddy.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people reach out. Thank you for actually saying it, sticking up for downtown. Downtown residents get annoyed, and they get defensive of not always feeling like they're respected as a place that people live. And that's not
true.
to say that there should be no business. That's not. We can coexist. I promise. We can all coexist. But so often, any talk of downtown turns into the downtown commercial district, downtown commercial district, downtown commercial district, and you forget about the 6,000 plus people that live there. And I've said on the show, and I said during the campaign that, those 6,000 people and anyone else who moves there, and when you build more housing in downtown, that's like the incubating base for those businesses. And
Mr. McDonough.
Sean, I don't think you're in the habit of getting your seconds lined up.
no,
Most of your seasoned colleagues line up their second before the meeting.
yeah,
They get a feel for whether their motion's going to float or not. And if it's not going to float, they don't present it.
right.
So it's something that you just might consider. I don't think you're ever going to get Johnny Dakota to second anything you want to do.
He was really helpful. I put
So
one in.
I understand all that good stuff, but I'm just going from my gut.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny Dakota's a nice guy. I just don't think he'll ever second anything you want to do. So he might be the guy you start off with. John, I got a motion tonight about the inflation of basketballs. Will you second the motion? And if you line up your seconds, you're going to be able to say your paragraph.
I usually have the only time I failed to get my second was on that one cut. And talking after the meeting, my impression is that there was a little bit of fatigue it was a tag team effort all night on the two of us going, and nobody else would jump in. And it was like, oh, here we go on another big one. Please, somebody else jump in. So it's not just the two of us again. And I get that.
My thoughts on seconding motions is
Sean
I would
second
second
motion.
anybody's motion.
You don't even
if
have to
I
vote for it if
You
you
don't
second
agree
it,
with it? Yeah. Hoey did it. Bob will talk about a motion that he made the motion, and he didn't even vote for his own motion.
Right.
It was just one of those things. But I don't. That's disrespectful. I think if somebody can't just second your motion and still vote against it, and I always call it for discussion purposes.
Right.
Right.
I also think sometimes, to your point, even if I know I have a second, sometimes I'll do something, even if I know I might not have the votes.
Yeah.
You do it to put someone on the spot because it's the long game, right? And you need the record.
Yeah, exactly.
Like with MIS, I think, and everyone should go back to that vote when you look at the 5-6 vote and how that split. I think that is indicative of how this council's going to go, and I don't know. It makes me question. I'm sure it makes other people question.
Yeah.
Hey, Jose,
If you are.
I got Jose on the phone here, boys.
Like you would say, I am fantastic, sir. The sun is shining. We got two of my favorite people on the air right now.
Who you got down there with you? Who you got down there with you?
Aaron and
Aaron
Cisco.
Chandler.
Gentleman
Cisco.
right here with me.
Hi, Mr. McDonough.
All right, how are you? I got your picture up on the screen now. Is Cisco still there, or did he go golfing?
He's golfing.
That's all right. So we're simulcasted on WCAP along with City Life. So we never done this before, and just called up to say hello and wish you good luck.
Thank you. Much appreciated. And I appreciate you sharing my golf tournament flyer.
Oh, you're welcome. So
I guess I went over there today.
we're talking about, we got Sean McDonough's here today. We're talking about tonight's city council agenda and how he's trying to get them to get some money, get the tax rate down, and nobody seems to want to go. There are very few that seem to want to go along with them.
There's 5.
There's 5 that want to go along with it and 6 that don't.
We had a texter call in yesterday and bring up, when he was trying to, how he was bringing up different ways in different departments to cut up, trim the budget down a little bit. And I definitely, like I said then, and I'll say it now, my hat off to him for trying to, save some money for the taxpayers and actually taking the time to go through the budget like that. And that's what we need more of, accountability and, keep it up. Keep it up, Sean. I don't know if you can hear me, but you're doing a good job in there. We got to hold truth to power. People run, I say it all the time, people run faster when somebody's chasing them. So keep up the good job.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's not easy to
Jose.
go line by line. It's probably a little bit uncomfortable to be sitting in that seat, but
Sean, you
it's
get any
important that
feedback?
people get to see line by line, like how we're going through the budget. So that's much appreciated.
So we'll let you kids enjoy yourselves, and good to talk to you, and God bless and good luck.
Thank you, sir. Always appreciate it.
Take care, thanks.
Good morning.
That explains why my phone's not buzzing. Usually I'll get a few from Erin. How could you say that on City Life? But
Really?
if she's on the radio, then I guess she's not texting me right now because she's not watching yet.
So you guys agree to disagree?
No, we get along on a lot, but
Yeah.
usually, I forget, a couple weeks ago, she goes, "Well, you really said that on air." I go, "Yeah, I did." It could have been anything.
And a text from the audience, that's a very good-looking group on the WCAP radio. We're better looking than they are.
Yeah.
We're trying to kid.
Well, I think Aaron's prettier than Sean.
That's fair.
I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to them being on the radio. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, they get paid.
Good point. Good point.
I live upstairs. I got to be careful.
There's a lot of hocus pocus that goes on down there, and we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at
So
that.
this is going to be Jose's show, and Sean's and Cisco's going to be the co-host. John, is that what you're getting? From what you have?
One of my best friends is Gary Francis,
Yeah.
Gary Frescarelli. And when Gary's talking, he's lying. When Gary speaks, you have to divide by 7, and sometimes you have to divide by 75. And Gary will tell you a story that's completely a lie. And so you have to call him out on it. And right now, the station, from what I get from Gary, the station is financially in trouble. They owe the city of Lowell a ton of money for taxes.
I was told that the other day.
They're trying to sucker the, what's the drunk guy's name? The drunk that they think is wonderful.
Kerouac.
Kerouac, okay, Kerouac. They're trying to have the Kerouac group
He still
take
owes
them
Kathy
over.
rent.
Take them
And-
over? Really?
That's
Move 'em
this,
into
this,
the-
this
yeah.
is all rumor, and and everybody knows that they're not putting AM radios in cars anymore.
No.
So there's trouble ahead for AM radio. There has been for a while, and WCAP is not immune to it.
No.
And so they're in trouble, and some of the employees tell me that they have trouble getting their paycheck. And
Yeah, I can vouch for that
One thing I'll say, and you can do this to anybody, for the viewer at home that ever gets curious, if you go on masscourts.com, it's all public record. You go on Mass Courts,
Okay.
and you go Middlesex Superior Court, or you could do Lowell, or you could do Middlesex County and then Lowell District Court for who you want to look, and then you just
Sure.
put in a name, put in a business, see what pops up. Merrimack Valley Radio is a fun one. That's
Yeah.
a fun one to look at.
well, it's
Well, I was,
It's a
I
fun
was
one to
actually
look at.
told by somebody, I'm not going to mention the person's name last week, that this actually what John said about the back taxes to the city of Lowell. I
Might
don't
have been
know.
me.
I
I
don't
looked
know
at
if you live above him.
Yeah,
Okay, so you have a condo.
yeah.
Is the radio station a
It's a
office
condo.
and he lost that? I heard
There was a lawsuit. Yeah.
he lost that. Right.
So the
let's
yeah.
stay
I don't.
out of
I
the-
won't do it. Yeah. I'll
The
tell you off
personal
air.
market. Let's
Yeah,
just stay out of
I'll
that
tell you
stuff.
off air.
Keep it corporate. Never mind
Yeah.
All right.
personal.
All right.
But suffice to say, the radio station's in trouble.
Yeah.
And it'd be a shame to see this. And
No, it's good
me
to
and
have.
this person was talking about it. It's a shame. That station's been around for 50, 60 years. It's 60 years now, I think. It's a shame that it would happen, And I didn't know that story about cars don't have AM radios anymore.
Well,
Mine
I
does.
think a lot of people are going. I think a lot of people are going. Even with your show. I watch. If I'm going to do City Life, I put it on YouTube. I don't.
Do you get more views on YouTube or Facebook?
Facebook's paramount.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Facebook, we get like 300-400 people.
Okay.
Nobody watches the whole show,
Okay.
but people will tune in and see who's on. If they
Okay.
like you, they're going to listen to you for a while.
Yeah.
They move on. But in cars, there's just so many options now in cars.
Well, I listen to Apple Music. I have an Apple app, and I listen to music. I don't ever listen to many
Yep.
AM.
No,
or
well,
FM
that's
stations.
what I was gonna
I
say
will
is-
listen to CAP on certain times or certain days, or But,
And like the Inside Lowell thing, it gets okay numbers. Sometimes it gets better numbers. But if I'm gonna do if I'm gonna listen to local news, cause when I'm in the car, I'll do the YouTube podcast thing or wherever else you get your podcast, and I'll throw that on, and then that'll
Right.
go over my car radio.
Right.
I can do it with City Life if I pull up the YouTube and just don't actually my phone's in my glove box, so it's not
Sure.
like I can see it, but the sound goes over the car.
sure.
But AM radio, the issue at WCAP is either you're listening live or it's gone forever. And I just don't think that's how people don't really consume
Well, there's
media
some-
outside of sports.
and
They
there
don't
have been-
consume media like
and
that
there have
anymore.
been some instances where you've turned on the radio and it's not on.
Right.
And I'm one of the ones that love to listen to Gary's Top 40, whatever he plays, the oldies.
But I guess-
love
I guess
The
listening.
sock hop he has.
What
love
I
listening to
what
that.
I mean is we don't do you don't have a 6 it's 8 o'clock, I gotta put on channel 4 and watch whatever, right?
Right.
It's both for our fun kind of recreational TV show media, but also our news and stuff. I remember my grandparents still, because they're in the habit, they stay up until 11 so they can get the 11 o'clock news before they go to bed, because that's when you get the news. And it's like, you try and tell them, Papa, you can actually just put the news on right now. You watch it and then go to bed whenever you want. you can do whatever you want.
I can't tell you the last time I went to bed at 11 o'clock.
Last
night
every
was in
time
bed
I
at 8:30. When I
every
do the
time.
show here, I'm usually in bed earlier just because I want.
Every time, without fail, if I stayed at Nana and Papa, they had a little cottage in Wyndham. If I went over, it was 11 o'clock news. Okay, it's 11:28. Bye. And you go to bed.
And your parents are probably the type. When 60 Minutes came on Sunday night, you didn't talk. You couldn't talk in the house.
Right, they would put
my
that-
father. I'd walk over and visit my father. Go visit my father. Be coming over for a visit. I'm not going to tell him watching 60 Minutes. And
Well,
But that's just not how we are anymore.
What I complain about the newscasters, they outright lie. Coming up next is this. Now, next means what to you?
At some point in the next half hour.
the next story.
It might be. It's TV news. It might be on before the end of the show. That's what next means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can anybody tell me what Ferocious Radio is? WBZ. They're fearlessly independent. What does that
I don't
mean?
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I love to listen to 1010 Wins in New York. But lately, it seems to me there's more commercials on that radio station than any place else. And I got in tune with 1010 Wins in New York as some of my C-SPAN buddies. They listen to that newscast because most of the national news grows out of that newscast. They'll listen to that newscast in the morning and they'll say, well, what do I want to put on my news show for that?
Right. No, that's why I think a lot of people are on the podcasts or
Do you ever listen
whatever.
to AM 970 in New York? It's pretty good. It's conservative. A lot of conservatives are on it. Talk show host
970 a.m.
in New York. Yeah, I sometimes listen.
I
to
don't
that.
get it in New York. You can get that.
Well,
in
you
your
get it
car?
on your app.
Oh,
on
your
the-
internet?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good, yeah.
Conservative guys like Sean are on that.
Oh, Jesus.
Coming
not
On the decline also is the news in this horrible crooked state.
everywhere. It's the news everywhere. Someone said that to me about. I mean, even it happened with the school department, the school budget, and it's happening with the city budget. There's no reporting.
Great
You know?
show today. If I owed the city of Lowell a boatload of taxes, would they give me time to get funding?
Looks like it does. You can look on the city's website and you can see the list of people who owe money, and it's a lot of people, and we don't seem to do much to get it back.
They don't put those in the paper anymore. They used to, remember years back, John, right? They put the delinquent taxpayers in the Lowell Sun.
Okay, this poor guy, he got pummeled about that last week because
Really?
they say, "What's with this advertising? What are you? Why are we paying
know.
for advertising on everybody has a?" And they're like, "What's the matter with you, you buffoon? Don't you know we have to buy ads in the newspaper?"
That's right.
I mean, they talk down to you, Sean. I can't believe
It was
how
to be
arrogant
fair,
some of your colleagues are.
Counselor Liang had a lot of the advertising questions, but I agree with him. And I still agree with him even after don't you know we paid for ads in the Lowell Sun. Like, can we find out, is there anywhere else we can advertise? We got one newspaper. They're charging us how much money to advertise all these flipping hearings, and it's like, well, what about? Do we need special legislation for a Facebook post? Like what?
Sean,
what?
I'll tell you a story about the funeral home, okay? We have Facebook. We have a bunch of followers on Facebook. So almost all the obituaries go on Facebook. So this family said, well, look, the Lowell Sun's never been good to us. We don't want the Lowell Sun. So this is early on, probably like 5-6 years ago. And said, well, okay, 57-car funeral. It was only on Facebook.
Wow. Okay.
Now, they charge you to put that obituary in the paper, John, right?
$600.
Right, but now, for example, my wife and I were talking about, there was one in Sunday. This thing had to be 10,000 words long. Is it more for bigger obituaries? or
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Okay.
You
Did you
pay
see
by
that
the
one
space.
Sunday?
You pay for
My
that.
God, it was,
I didn't see it.
yeah. It was just unbelievable. It was just going on. It said everything this person did, you know. So I told my wife, that's what my obituary is going to look like.
Well, Facebook doesn't charge a dime.
Yeah.
And Bart says, great show today. I have fun. The meeting, fun at the meeting. He'll have fun. He says, I have fun at the meeting tonight. That's from Bart.
Oh boy, I'm glad somebody has fun. That's why I know
Be
I should.
another marathon session? Will be
I don't
another-
know. I know I shouldn't laugh, and I'm working on trying not to do the
and-
stupid chuckle. But
And this
sometimes
is
it's
gonna
like
be
I don't
your
know what else
first,
to do.
You're going to have summer schedule starting up pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
You guys still do that?
Already is summer
It is.
schedule.
This isn't a regular meeting. This is a continuation.
Oh, so there's no agenda items. There's
Right.
no
This is
motion.
we got to
Oh,
finish the last meeting.
Okay, so now, and then after tonight, you
And they
meet
might
next
vote to
week,
take
right?
next
Yeah,
week
no,
off, Tommy.
What's that?
If they get the budget done tonight, they might vote to take next week off.
I'm a no.
Well, I think
boy.
it's crazy because it doubles your work. I mean,
I know.
I would, I would, because I just think the selectmen do it in Drake, but I know they were smaller. They meet every other week. In the summertime, they meet once a month, but they don't have the stuff that you have to do. I know.
Yeah,
they
we
don't.
should. If we're gonna go every other week in the summer, we should. And this isn't. We're not gonna change it this year, but
Yeah.
if we're gonna go every other week, we should probably start at 6 and then change the time to adjourn later.
In fact, the selectmen in Drake, about 6 months ago, their meetings were at 7, and they changed it till 6 o'clock. They start their meetings
Yeah.
now. And so, they don't really have the marathon sessions like you. The only time they'll have a marathon session is if they're going over the articles for town meeting or something along that line. But it's very rare if the meeting's an hour and a half, if that.
Right.
So, but you guys seem to always have marathon sessions.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got 3 minutes to go, a little over 3 minutes to go. And we talked about the last hour. On the last show of Dawn Patrol about having a light moment, and you have your summer vacation coming up with your family. Your wife will be off pretty soon from school. You're going to take a little time off, and
I'm really off. Yeah.
yeah.
I've been unemployed until then, but now I'm just on vacation. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good.
No, well, once you know where you're going, once you have that start date, and you're on
John gives you a decent check every week.
Oh
Doesn't he?
yeah, right. No,
you're
I mean,
looking forward to it?
I'm
Hey, you
looking
want to be
forward to
pallbearer?
it. I am looking forward to it. I like summer. I like it. It's not why I like teaching. There's lots of reasons to like teaching, but there is something about still having summer break like a kid. When the
Yeah.
first day of school is, and I don't know. It's fun. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah, your wife must look forward,
Look forward to the next
yeah.
school year. You get a little nervous
Yeah.
about it, but
You say she's a history teacher? Did you
she
tell me
is
that?
a science teacher.
Science teacher. Okay. All
She
right.
is a science teacher. I was a history teacher once.
Yeah.
Special ed history. I did it that was my first gig, and then I wound up in Lowell on life skills.
Good for you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's those kids must have a special place in your heart. You must have hated to leave in a way when you did leave, and they were.
I
Probably,
did.
And
No,
they,
I
and
did.
they probably still miss Sean. You know.
And you always miss it when you leave. But much like we say about really well-paid city employees, sometimes it's okay to leave if you think. Sometimes it's for more money. Sometimes it's for a different job. Sometimes it's because it's a political circus
Look at
where
this.
you work. But it's okay.
Tomorrow, City Life, Linda Bond's going to be the host. The mayor's going to be here. And
That's a show.
Karen Casella's coming too, so that's tomorrow, City
Karen's
Life.
been leaving us. She's been going on the Wednesday show lately.
I know.
That's Jesus.
Last text to the...
People used to get the Lowell Sun to read the arrest report. I guess just what
So make sure they weren't in it.
Well, I remember my father told me when we got about 30 seconds. When you get old enough, the first thing you open a Lowell Sun up is the obituary page to see who died.
That's my great. My nana did it every day. Check the Eagle Tribune. Read.
So, well, thanks, great show, Sean.
Yeah.
The two of us did a good job.
Thanks for having me in. I'm sure
Yep.
I'm sure I made somebody upset.
Have a good night after the rest of the day, and thank you, Mr. Producer.
Yeah,
I'll
thank
be
you.
watching with my popcorn tonight, Sean.
It's a popcorn night.
Thank
More
you.
advertising.
Have a good day.
convinced itself that we are in a rush to pass a budget,
We always are.
which is confusing because we have until the end of the month, and there have been times in history, not that long ago.
If someone asked you right now why Paul wrote Philippians, not what it says, but why he wrote it, would you? obviously knows